Have you ever wondered what addiction recovery really looks like? Not the polished stories you see in movies, but the raw, day-to-day reality. That's what we're here to show you. We're in South Africa, stepping into the lives of incredible people who are fighting one of the toughest battles imaginable, the journey out of substance abuse. This isn't about before and after photos. It's about the during. It's about the struggle, the grit, and the quiet moments of victory that often go unseen. Let's be honest, addiction is often shrouded in shame and silence. People talk about hitting rock bottom, but what happens the day after? What happens a week, a month, or a year later? That's where the real work begins. It's a journey filled with triggers, setbacks, and moments of intense vulnerability. But it's also a story of immense courage and an unwavering will to reclaim one's life. We're here to listen, to understand, and to share these stories without a filter. Today we meet Thabo. He's 28 years old, and for a decade, his life was controlled by heroin. When you look at him now, you see a kind face, a thoughtful gaze. But behind his eyes are stories of loss, pain, and a desperation most of us can't fathom. He's been clean for 6 months, and he's agreed to share what that really means. The first few weeks. It's a war inside your own body, Thabo tells me, his voice steady but his hands restless. Every cell is screaming for the drug. You can't sleep, you can't eat. The physical pain is one thing, but the mental part, that's the real monster. It's the shame, the memories of everyone I hurt. That guilt can eat you alive if you let it. He describes his daily routine, which has become his lifeline. It starts at 5 a.m. with a cold shower, a shock to the system that he says reminds him he's alive and in control. Then, meditation. Not for inner peace, he explains, but to sit with the discomfort, to acknowledge the cravings without giving in. He shows me a small, worn-out notebook. This is my gratitude journal, he says. Every morning, I write down 3 things I'm grateful for. Sometimes it's just I woke up today. On bad days, that's a huge victory. Recovery isn't a straight line. Thabo talks about a close call just a few weeks ago. An old acquaintance called, and just hearing his voice sent a jolt of panic and desire through him. My heart was pounding, he recalls. My mind immediately started making excuses. Just one time, it said. No one will know. It's so seductive, that voice. Instead of giving in, he called his sponsor. He didn't even say much, just I'm struggling, and that was enough. Someone knew, and the spell was broken. This is the reality of recovery. A constant series of choices, minute by minute, hour by hour. Now let's meet Lerato. Her story is different. Her battle was with alcohol, hidden in plain sight for years. She was a successful professional, a mother, a wife. From the outside, she had it all. But inside, she was drowning. My addiction was a secret, she says, her expression pained. I was a high-functioning alcoholic. I'd manage presentations, school runs, family dinners, and then I'd drink alone to numb the anxiety, the pressure, the feeling of being an imposter. Her turning point came not with a dramatic crash, but a quiet moment of clarity. She saw the fear in her daughter's eyes one evening. She didn't say anything, Lerato whispers, but I saw it. She was scared of me, my own child. That broke me in a way nothing else could. That night, she admitted she had a problem, first to herself and then to her husband. For Lerato, recovery has been about relearning how to live. How to handle stress without reaching for a bottle. How to socialize without the crutch of alcohol. It's like learning to walk again, she explains. Simple things like a work dinner become a minefield. No thanks, I'm not drinking. The questions, the looks. It's exhausting. But then I remember my daughter's face, and I know why I'm doing it. She's found new coping mechanisms. She's taken up running. Every evening she pounds the pavement, releasing the day's stress with every stride. It's her new ritual. When I'm running, my mind goes quiet, she says. It's just my feet, my breath, the road. For that 1 hour, I'm not an addict. I'm just a runner. I'm just free. She also attends a support group, a circle of women who understand her struggle without judgment. We share our small wins and our big fears. We're a sisterhood. They saved my life. These stories, Thabo's and Lerato's, are just 2 among millions in South Africa. The path is deeply personal, yet the themes are universal. the pain of the past, the challenge of the present, and the fragile hope for the future. What we've seen is that recovery isn't about becoming a new person. It's about finding the person who was buried underneath the addiction. It's about rediscovering your own strength, one difficult choice at a time. It's also about community. No one does this alone. It takes sponsors, support groups, family, and friends who are willing to stand by you, even when it's hard. It's about replacing destructive habits with life-affirming ones. A 5 a.m. shower, a gratitude journal, an evening run, a phone call to a friend. These aren't just activities. They are anchors in the storm. We often think of heroes as people who perform grand, public acts of bravery. But maybe the real heroes are the ones fighting these quiet internal wars every single day. The ones who wake up and choose recovery, even when every instinct screams at them to do the opposite. They are rebuilding their lives, not on a foundation of perfection, but on one of resilience, honesty, and incredible courage. Their journey is a testament to the strength of the human spirit. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, please know that there is hope and there is help. You don't have to fight this battle alone. Reach out to local support groups, helplines, or professional services. In South Africa, organizations like SANCA and the South African Depression and Anxiety Group offer confidential support and resources. Taking that first step is the bravest thing you can do. Thank you for joining us on this journey today and for listening with an open heart. The stories of Thabo and Lerato remind us that behind the statistics are real people, fighting for their lives with everything they've got. Let's replace judgment with compassion and silence with conversation. If these stories have touched you, please like this video and share it. It might just reach someone who needs to hear it most. And subscribe to our channel as we continue to explore these powerful, unfiltered realities. Thanks for watching.